At the beginning of this History Beyond Fact episode, the audience is transported into one of the most haunting testimonies left by World War I, the experience of Stefan Westmann. His story reaches far beyond dates and military records, exposing the emotional fracture hidden behind every soldier's uniform. Westmann, a young German among millions mobilized, marched believing he was answering a noble call to defend his nation. Yet, as he stepped into the trenches, that belief dissolved under the unbearable weight of reality. Every explosion, every trembling footstep, and every scream revealed a truth he could not ignore. War does not simply demand bravery, it demands a part of the human soul, and once it is taken, it never returns. In his journey, Westmann discovered that the battlefield is not only a place where armies collide, but a place where the conscience of a single man can be shattered in an instant, leaving behind memories carved deeper than any scar. The trenches where Westmann lived were more than defensive lines carved into the earth. They were corridors of fear, places where men waited for death in silence broken only by distant gunfire. Stefan described the suffocating atmosphere, the stench of wet soil mixed with gunpowder, the heavy uniforms soaked in sweat, and the constant tension that stretched every second into something unbearable. There, dreams faded as quickly as the glow of a flare in the night sky. Young soldiers who once spoke about their futures now whispered only about survival. Westmann realized that the enemy was not just the opposing army, but the transformation forced upon every man trapped in that muddy prison. The war reshaped them, stripping away innocence and identity until only instinct remained. And in that environment, Stefan sensed the price he would eventually pay, a price far greater than any wound received in battle. The defining moment of his life struck without warning. During a chaotic offensive, Westmann faced a young enemy soldier charging toward him. There was no room for hesitation, only reaction. Stefan raised his bayonet, and in an instant, the battlefield fell silent in his mind. The expression on the soldier's face was not one of hatred, but of shock, a plea for life that vanished as quickly as it appeared. In that frozen heartbeat, Stefan understood the tragedy of war. Two strangers, neither wanting to kill, forced into a deadly encounter neither chose. He felt no triumph when the man fell, only a crushing sense that something inside him had broken. The war had stolen not only another life, but a fragment of his own humanity. That moment would embed itself in his memory, returning night after night, long after the guns went silent. From that day forward, Westmann carried an invisible wound. The war continued around him, but the battle inside him grew louder than the artillery. The face of the fallen soldier followed him through sleepless nights and long marches, echoing in every moment of stillness. He tried to justify his actions, telling himself it was survival, but the explanation never soothed the turmoil. When the war finally ended and he returned home, Stefan discovered that peace on paper did not mean peace in the mind. He lived with the painful awareness that although he had survived, he had paid a price far deeper than anyone could see. The conflict had ended for the world, but not for him. His war continued in the quiet shadows of memory. Decades later, older, carrying the weight of years, Stefan shared his testimony with the BBC, a voice now preserved for generations. His message resonates perfectly with the mission of History Beyond Fact, to reveal the human truth hidden beneath history's surface. Westmann stated that the real enemy had never been the soldier he killed, but war itself, a force capable of twisting values, stealing futures, and leaving unseen scars that last for a lifetime. His story is not told to inspire glorification, but reflection. Through his words, he reminds us that behind every statistic lies a name, a life, a story abruptly broken. And as we revisit his testimony today, we hear his plea clearly. Before celebrating war, listen to those who were marked by it, because only recognizing their pain can humanity truly fight for peace.